Man, things are happening, things are going. We get fascinating developments. I think we're going into the end game. I'm pretty sure we've announced there's a second season happening, but from what things have been leading up to, it's starting to come together. And I won't say it's the best way it came together, but hey, it's working. Also, finalizing, it is now summer in California. Yes, I know it's April. It is now summer in California, so I have to start doing things before things get weird. So with all that being said, it's your boy, EXP626, here having a good time discussing Daredevil. Let's get into it. Man, here in prison with Point Dexter, man. I never thought we'd get to see it, but there we go. Interesting place to start. We've pretty much started this whole arc, this whole series with Point Dexter. The question here becomes why Point Dexter? So let's get a little interesting, because when the cops start to pull Point Dexter out of his set aside cell, I don't know what they call it, it's some weird terms. The cop makes a point of being like, yo, all these brand new terms, wink wink, all these new labels for people, wink wink, welcome to the pop. And there's basically putting him inside the general populace cell holding. So what that means is that it is open season. Ideally, one that goes to prison to reflect on things and maybe learn a few skills. Baking, I'm thinking about Saul Goodman with his bread making skills. And you learn life lessons that you can hopefully learn something new, get out of that place, and with new general skills, you can hopefully start a better future from here on. The jungle, as they call it. And they welcome him very, very well. Man. But things are not too bad, because Fisk and his lovely wife, Vanessa, are out on a romantic walk. The pier, of course, that investment firm that Wilson Fisk has been really pouring his mayoral focuses or beneficiaries towards. Basically, he's building a new empire, which upsets his wife a bit, because if you remember, it's because of her that their Fisk empire kind of rose to heights once Fisk, quote unquote, abandoned, went to meditate in the Himalayas and left Vanessa behind, i.e., leaving her bored and looking for comfort. Adam, original sin. Because Vanessa is really sad, because it's like it's like think if it was like your baby and then you raise it and then this person's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that kid. But this new kid, this new baby, this shit's got potential. And Fisk being Fisk, he's like, no, it's not me throwing away the baby with the bathwater. It is transformation. Whatever comes out of that bathwater is gonna be a different kid, and it's gonna be your mama. But man, what this basically means if you want to think about it in the big brain or the tiny lizard brain space, is that at the end of the day, Fisk has been able to get the funding he needed to get his project going. The same project that those bigwigs from the city did not support his idea. So later on, it kind of makes sense that Fisk is very adamant about this, because he's also trying to stick it to the richer I was about to say Gotham, the richer that New York people, and that's an interesting angle. I will say, I because things get a little bit spicier later on. But hey, all that plotting, all that chaotic energy has to go somewhere. Where does it go? Well, Matt and Heather, I think her name is Heather, Heather having a newfound interesting conversation between each other. Heather is convinced that the development of anger that went on, convinced that at the end of the day, she is a victim of this event, which, yes, it's not, it's nobody wins at a pity party. Like, nobody wins at going like, oh, well, this happened to me and blah, 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 blah. No, that's fucked up. Shit shouldn't happen, but shit does happen. Acknowledgement is what matters, not fucking comparing each other's fucking pity traumas. But when you get so funneled in that mindset of that victimhood mindset, it is very easy to tunnel vision. And for example, if someone's out there trying to give you a hand or reach out to you, it is very simple to kind of push that away, because that is your initial like reaction to anything coming at you. So each person doing their own thing, feeling their own vibes, I understand. But it's very important to see where the mindset is, because in her mind, she sees how this comes from Daredevil. This anger, this kind of chaotic emotion has stemmed from Daredevil, has jumped to Muse, and now is affecting her. So that is her thesis for her paper moving forward. That being said, so loud. That being said, it's a bit rough, because we now get into an interesting idea where even though Daredevil was there, and you can say whatever you want, but if you boil it down, had Matthew Murdock not stepped in, he would have done whatever to that person, to her. So when she says that, no, I defended myself, Daredevil and Muse were there for their own reasons, I get that, I respect that. But can you really say that when it's like your boyfriend's there and being like, oh, Heather. It's like, I think he said my name. So she's not wrong, obviously, but it's also not just simply black and white. There's a lot more complexity that comes with human emotion, and that is why we can't just approach these things so simple-mindedly, in my opinion. But I digress, because Heather is ready, Heather's serious, and as they're trying to have their conversation, you hear at the door, who is it but Fisk's #1 man, right-handed guy, inviting the doctor, psychiatrist, to their, wouldn't you know it, annual Black and White Festival. Mayor holds a ball party for the police. Police show up in their penguin suits. Charity happens, interactions happens, Fisk happens. And you already know, we've established, Fisk, no bueno. So this immediately makes Matt trip out. Understandably, maybe not understandably, we as an audience know that Matt has been dealing with years with this Fisk character. However, this new girl, Vanessa, who's like, yo, I just want a boyfriend, doesn't know that he is the Daredevil. So it's a little bit rough, black and white. But it does prove a simple fact. secrets create distance. Distance creates independence. And I'm not saying independence is bad. You shouldn't be freaking coagulated by the hip either. But it's within this distance that we forget about how we are connected. And losing that connection means losing a part of our humanity. So, as this is happening, things are getting rough between them. It's probably not gonna work out. I don't think it'll work out. Miss Therapy Lady goes like, "Whoa, as a professional, you're starting to worry me." And I'm going like, "Listen, friends, we're talking about something serious here." She saved herself, right? I get that. She is a financially liberated woman, and she can care for herself. I completely understand. I support that. I can tell you stories about my mother, and you'd be like, wow, that's America, isn't it? No, it was Mexico. But with this newfound confidence, Heather warns Matt, watch your tone, as he's freaking out, right? And Matt, understandably so, is just flustered because at the end of the day, Wilson Fisk has been keeping tabs on Daredevil through this new girl, Heather, which you could say like, sure, whatever, she is her therapist and she has earned position and all this stuff and all that. And in a perfect world, Matt can just disassociate from the fact that this guy has killed thousands of people, or probably hundreds of people. And at the end of the day, he's technically killed his best friend. And that's not something you can just, I imagine, let go of. So unfortunately, because there is no real communication, no conversation, we see how this kind of just creates this moment of separation where Matt does not check in with her, and this girl is gonna go do her own financial liberated woman thing at the party. Listen, I'm just being cool about things, okay? It's great that there has been a passing of knowledge. At the end of the day, teaching our people, teaching our constituents, teaching our elective officials knowledge and the truth, and teaching them how we've got to certain places and making sure they know how to fucking add 1 times 75 is important. They should know these things. We should know how to do things so we can be confident that the people in place are doing such things. And that means involving the universe. Everybody who is within the circle, yes, feel free to go out there and support the government and our way of life by, you know, aiding to the general workforce and being the grand old person out there. No one's saying that's not a bad thing. But here's the thing. Men have been doing that for years. And it hasn't made anything better. So, with all that being said, it's easy to, in this time frame, in this generation, as of this, how everything just fucking moves so quickly, how everybody rushes down the 91 freeway to get to their fucking office job, it is very simple to go, my job, my career, my life, my lane, my car lane. So simple, because that becomes the only thing that one thinks about. Oh, you have to get to the office at a certain time. Oh, you have to pick up these things before for this person. Oh, you have to do this job, this final fucking paper, even though you made plans to go out on this night with this person who hardly ever goes out. And unfortunately, it's not as simple as black and white to just say, fuck it, leave everything behind, leave your job, leave things, and go do what you want to do. Obviously, no one is that oblivious, but there is a universe out there. That's all I'll say about that. But yeah, it's important. I think it's important to really reflect on what our values are and what we hold and why we do the things that we do at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, if that for Heather means supporting her own life, investing in her career, and focusing on herself, then she has that prerogative. But we'll find out where that gets us. We'll find out where that gets us. Statistics, people. So, next page. Romantic shots are fired because the main protagonist of the story can't have a successful relationship doesn't mean that the billionaire can't have his way. Because at the end of the day, Fisk comes clean to his wife about a little man called Adam. Poetic, because she came clean to him about Adam. Well, I guess he found out. She didn't really know. But at the end of the day, this dude, this guy who didn't know, right? He didn't know. I didn't know, bro. I didn't know. Has been abducted and tortured and held in captivity for the sick pleasure of a man named Wilson Fisk, also known as the Kingpin. Jail references, prison references. And that is that. Fisk comes clean to Vanessa. Adam screams for Vanessa's help. Vanessa gives him the look. She gave Adam that look. She fucking gave him that look. And then she blasts him 3-4 times. I can't count. Whew. Man, think about how shitty your life has to be to end up in a place where I don't know how long he was down there, but homie did not have a life. Like, that's not life. And at the end of the turn, you know, you see why you are here. You realize, oh, this fucking guy is crazy. This fucking woman is crazy. And yeah, that's for that to be the last thing you see, for your last month in life was spent as a fucking bargaining chip for this man's relationship. This boy, as Heather would call it, as she believes that all vigilantes are just boys hiding behind a mask. Touche. And so, this boy and this woman leave together into the dance hall, baby. Oh shit. It's rough. It is rough. These dudes. Oh, point didn't extra. But it gets rougher for poor Matt. Because obviously, Point Dexter needs an out. And that out is Matthew Murdock. The same dude who killed his best friend. Oh, I like this song. Who killed his best friend in the beginning of this series is now reaching out, not just to the lawyer, Matthew Murdock, because he knows more. Daredevil is fucking back. But yeah, man, it's rough because you're now in the position where this guy who knows your identity is like, listen, I need you to get me out of this fucking pit because you hear that noise out there? That's the jungle, baby. Those are the animals, and I need you to get me out of this fucking pit. Question becomes, why? Why in God's green earth would anyone expect the victim's best friend to defend the murderer? Fair enough. Point Dexter still believes that's what you'll do. Because that's what a hero would do. Stupid. That's what... yeah, that's what the hero would do, man. It's rough. Why? Why? Because Matt tells his partner, right, the girl at the law firm, this isn't working. It's a crazy moment, man. I don't know how to feel about it after last week's discussion, but it's a crazy moment where he snaps, right? It's easy for you to lose the message when you become bigger than what you can handle or what you know you are, or just when you don't have the control, right? Because you could lead an operation as you can work with hundreds of people ready to work at the next objective. But if you're just there for the paycheck, then your work doesn't matter how many people you have. It doesn't matter what their skill levels are. The quality won't be there. The direction, the head, the mindset won't be there. And even though Matt has done his damn best to work for the people, the fact that he's still getting shitty assholes who just expect lawyer to play mommy and daddy for them to get them out of the trouble from the principal's office because money will take care of it. So it's easy to lose your wording, your self of identity when you focus on the marketing. You lose it. Doesn't matter? I don't know. You tell me. But to Matthew Murdock, it fucking mattered. Because he calls him out his bullshit, gets up, gets out of the room, and talks to his partner. And he's like, listen, this is not serving justice. This is not working, right? We're just babysitting chaos. Whew. That's a line that will haunt me tonight. Because at the end of the day, if there is no responsibility within the system, what geriatrics are we even playing? Did I close that? I closed that. It's hilarious. It's hilarious in a very depressing way because tragedy is comedy. But when you simplify it that easily, it is just these fucking children. Again, going back to Heather, it's these fucking children, because I won't say boys, it's not just fucking guys, it's anybody out there who doesn't have a shred of fucking responsibility. Out in the fucking general labor force, life force, workforce, general populace area, wearing their mask or their shielding of money or financial stability, and just being like, oh, money will fix the problem. Which, yes, but at the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, it's not a question of money. It's a question of the will of the people. You're not paying for a service anymore. You're paying for the will of who will bend the knee first. And that is a very personal question. You have to go deep in there for that one. But it's one worth exploring. I think it helps define what your purpose here is and how far you're willing to accomplish those goals, or how flexible and unstructured in your own beliefs and mindset you are, that you will bend so easily at the drop of a fucking coin. So, anyways, why would he do it? Why would Matthew Murdock do it? But he thinks about it because he has to go down to the bar. He needs a drink, damn it. So do I. I could probably take a shot right now. Josie's bar, which obviously has been closed due to repairs with an uncertain possibility of an opening, opens up for Matt. She sees him standing outside, all depressed like, and he's like, bro, trying to get a drink or what? And yeah, they shoot the shit for a bit. Cherry pops in, he's like, hey man, your business partner told me to keep tabs on you. I'm here. You guys having a drink? I'm good, I quit. But you guys enjoy that nice little liqueur. And Josie, excited, pops out the specialty drink. Now remember, this is where things get a little bit weird. I'll give him the credit because I think it's kind of cool, but it was a little bit loosey-goosey, but I'll give him the credit because remember from the beginning of the series, Matt was talking about how they would only drink this specific label of the Irish whiskey when they were going to win a case. So that was a celebratory drink. And that night, Foggy had ordered that drink, meaning he knew that he had won. So, what that means is that that night, somebody sent Point Dexter. It wasn't about the specific revenge point, but that somebody was salty about losing. So, it's time. Matt Dexter, Point Dexter, meet at the prison. We get there. Quid pro quo. He says, you would do this. Why? Because that's what a hero would do. Defend their worst enemies. Matt chuckles, scoffs a little bit, says, fuck you. But not before slamming his face on the table 3 times. What does that do? I get it. Some of you might be like, yo, did he just snap? Yes, he did. But also, It means that it gives his client plausibility of insanity, meaning that he deserves medical attention, meaning that he deserves to stay isolated at least for one more night. So yes, Matthew did help his worst enemy. Bullseye says thank you. Matthew says fuck you. Rated R, baby. It's party time. Black and white. Penguin suits. Love to see it. Party boy makes his entrance. He's all a little happy. He makes a deal. He's recently been promoted. Fisk is happy with his performance. Obviously, he got BB to report on how Bullseye was the one who, or sorry, how his police task force is the one who stopped the Muse incident, not Daredevil, even though everybody in the street saw Daredevil do it. So, and it gets to an interesting ideal because up until this point, I've been wondering what this dude's whole shtick is, and I believe they're trying to make Party Boy the surrogate son of Wilson Fisk, and obviously Vanessa, right? Because they have the little kid, right, in the Spider-Verse movie. So I think that's that kind of surrogate son, and that's important because it's just, we saw last week how he's learning how to play like Wilson Fisk, and now we've seen how everything he's been observing is forming him into, i.e. a Fisk clone. You know, he's a fucking child with a mask, i.e. politicians. But it's a big allegory as to what that means to yeah, out there, people who are just out there to fucking make their fucking names known. Because this kid, he's all excited. He's like, I don't know, I'm thinking I'm gonna keep on doing this. I'm keep on going until someone tells me to stop. And yeah, man, that's, if you really want to simplify things right now, yeah, like a genius young man once said, it's time to stop, motherfucker. But yeah, it's easy. It's again, these financial liberated dumbasses who have more time and money in the world to know what to do. So rather than fucking turn back and help out society, they decide to invest more in themselves. To what fucking end? I don't know. You tell me, Tesla stocks. But it's time, baby. Kingpin and his lovely wife, drenched in red satin, make their appearance. And it's cool because it's the first time I think we've seen him in that full white suit. I think we've seen it a couple times, but this is the first time in this new series looking a little dapper, white, wearing white. So cool. And everyone's there. And everyone is there. And if you're not there, it's kind of square. But you'll be there. Because Poindexter is on his way, baby. That's right. Heather and Vanessa hanging out, talking about it, wondering why she's alone. She's like, oh, let's fix that. Which I thought she was gonna like pull him into a room full of dudes or whatever. But I mean, hey, I digress. Well, I guess it was not that rated R, but it's kind of rated R. Especially if you're leaving Heather in that state of mind. It is really rough out there, my dudes. Because like, look, you could be the coolest person, woman, female, doesn't matter. And you could really like do a lot, and you could really be cool, and you could really like know what you're up to. And then this one fucking person can like just get butthurt for 1 second, not want to work things out, and just be like, oh, I'm bored. Oh, there's a bar. And that's it. That's really it. Is it worth it? You tell me. That happens. They're talking. It's trying to wonder why it's the way it is, and it's again a very ironic state because wow, while Heather is like, oh yeah, I'm glad to have been able to work with you two. I hope we can continue working with each other, which kind of is shitty, right? She's telling them, I hope your marriage doesn't work out so I can keep on having business. But Vanessa, she's proud of her career. She has a fucking career. She's so proud of herself. But Vanessa goes like, oh, actually, I think we figured things out. You see this dress? It's red. We got it covered. So again, going to the fucking fact. It's not that serious. Labor is not that serious. We guys have not been able to do shit with ourselves. And we've been working in the labor force since it's been fucking invented. Teamwork, people, teamwork. But Murdoch enters the jungle, baby. Whew, sorry, I didn't say that a lot. Murdoch enters the jungle. All that means is that we had a prison cell, and now we're inside the mayoral's party little bullshit event. Black and white, but not so different after all. And Heather's sodium levels rise. Yes, she is indeed salty. She indeed still like, oh, you didn't text me back. I messaged you like 5 times. And I get it. Again, I get it. She's hurt. She has emotions and all that. But tunnel vision, baby. Tunnel vision. You gotta step back and stop being like me. You gotta be like, why is he acting like this? Are you okay? What's going on? Clearly you're not okay, but what? And like, it becomes a contention because this is the point where she's like, oh, professionally, I'm starting to get worried. And it's like, well, yeah, well, your hiree or your employer just told you she doesn't need your services. So let's tone it down on that professionalism, yeah? Let's focus on the personal right now. And yeah, those levels are up. Fisk has basically held this event to start to bring in all the bigwigs into his private room, because as we notice, as Party Boy notices, that Fisk is slowly taking people into his private chambers and having like quick little discussions with them. I.e., think The Godfather, the opening of The Godfather, when he's privately interacting with everybody who needs something from him or needs a favor. Fisk, on this hand, is not giving out favors. He is receiving them, no longer asking. Because he tells the older man, the guy with the mustache, the oldest dude in the book, which kind of threw me off guard. Swordmaster. Woo! I had no idea. I did not see that coming. If you remember, in the past episodes, there has been like BB viral video clips of this dude with 2 swords that would just beat up some random dude. Apparently, that's the old guy. There's more vigilantes in the area. Wow, who would have known? I want to see Swordmaster in the fight. And yeah, it happens, man. This is what he's been doing. This is Wilson Fisk's victory lap, telling all the rich people, like, look, dudes, I got the, oh, I got the funding for my Red Hawk district. How much can you support? And basically extorting him for his investment, because it is part of the law that he needs 50-50 of the commercial investment and the populist investment. So if you're ever wondering why in God's name do politicians need companies to back them up and wealthy and private individuals, it's for that specific reason. I.e., unless you know somebody really fucking rich, you will never be president. Unless you band together and you get like a little, whatever. America. Interesting though, because while this interaction happens, the media, which I thought was a beautiful little note that they added into here. They didn't have to, but they did it because they thought it was cool. This random dude with the newspaper takes a picture of their interaction and tries to sneak out of there. Unfortunately, Wilson Fisk's task force is there to kind of be his ultimate task force. What that means is that they don't follow the law anymore. They are fucking pound of wild dogs who have lost the direction, lost the point, and are now there to attack at the first drop of Wilson Fisk's little hand. And he does say, attack, take care of it. In a rough scene, as someone who knows what it feels like to stick your hand in hot oil, it really exemplifies how far these dudes are willing to go to be their own person. And again, that's not a terrible thing. But when you're doing that at the expense of a normal civilian, it just shows a lot more about your character than anything else. It's not necessarily that like, oh, we can't handle it or that it hurts, because even though it does, but it's more that your principles are out there, and that's something that we shouldn't stand for. I can't stand for. And it is, because as the commissioner, the police head honcho, tells his guy to stop, the guy goes like, no, I don't work for you. I work for Big Papi Wilson Fisk. And why, oh why, that becomes the social norm is the question, right? So we're in the jungle, Wilson Fisk jungle, where his policemen are the watchdogs, the tigers of the society, and the poor monkey who needs to share his bananas with the rest of the other monkeys gets his hand burned in the fryer, because deep fried bananas are fucking delicious. Plantain, some people call them. Total corruption. Party Boy admires the situation, the position, but he understands nothing of power, man. He admires what Fisk is doing, but he understands nothing about responsibility. So it's easy to be the person that goes like, oh, I want that. I want to be that person, or I wanna like do this or whatever. But nobody really looks at what it takes to get there, right? You see the image of the person and you think, oh, I could be that. And yes, you can. But you're gonna have to work for that shit. You're gonna have to try. And it's the people that are there just to fucking take the title rather than to put in the effort that really fuck it up for everyone else. That's money. And then that's called nepotism. Because you might be wondering why this is okay with BB report. My biggest question or wonder, I guess, was that this BB person, she has her channel, she does her reports, and she's finally been corrupted, quote unquote corrupted, by this party boy guy. He did his thing, and he really put his foot down on the report. I was under the impression that she had more pull or more like coolness to her. So I was a little disappointed with last week's interaction with Party Boy. But in this episode, we get more of insight, which you could have put it together if you were paying attention. But unfortunately, I take notes, so I guess I wasn't paying attention. And the commissioner, right? He's like pretty fucking dejected. I would be too, man. You have a team that you wish to grow and to culture into a responsible workforce, but they turned out to be assholes because some other fucking dipshit has something to say and money to throw around. But BB stops him and gets serious, and she says, like, listen, dude, I know what Fisk is, and I know what Fisk has done. And I know that you are a cool person and that you want better things for the people. So when you're ready to cut the shit, when you're ready to talk, come talk to me. Now it's time for me to get back to work. Whoo, shots. So I respected that. That was pretty damn cool. I liked how she really came across, and she made it happen. I think it's always, okay. Recently, tangent time. Recently, you think about how the female protagonist has been kind of raised up to Snow White. Snow White, the remake. I think the big stick at the end of the day was, aside from the whole, Palestine stuff like that, again, killing just to kill is pretty fucked up. Let's just agree on that, yeah? And with her whole shtick at the end, how she was like, oh, this is not your grandmother's Snow White. She's gonna be her own person. She's gonna find her own future and blah, 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 blah. To which I didn't pay for it, but I walked into the Snow White showing. What up, Scott Solo? Nice. I walked in, and basically, TLDR, you don't have to watch the movie. She essentially becomes a fucking war general. That's not a joke. She uses all the animals and all the dwarves, and then the dwarves convince the townspeople, and then the townspeople gang up with Snow White to essentially have her lead a battalion to essentially throw over the queen. A war general. So, and then just quickly aside, my other reference, frame of reference, God bless her, I love her, is, what's her face? Anya Taylor-Joy, when she did the Furiosa movie. Like, just kind of the whole, like, this chick is a dude, basically. And that's it. At the end of the day, I'm not saying women can't be strong. I've seen women go after the handle. It's scary. And I'm not saying that, like, they shouldn't be respected in that direction either. But a woman has her skill sets, her natural skill sets. Some people call that the femme fatale. And that is a hard line to balance, especially for someone who likes to see through the bullshit. It's like really hard to put your trust in someone who you know has the ability and the skill to trample and spit all over that trust. You know that they're able to do these things, and it's not an easy thing to let go, to believe. But there is that sense of admiration and respect, at least from my part, for a woman when she can put aside all the bullshit and do what only a woman can do, which is essentially fucking warm up to the dude and just like freaking butter up the kid, basically. And that's her angle. She is gonna butter up Party Boy, which admittedly doesn't take much effort. It's a lost cause. But for the sake of justice and for the sake of a better future, it is admirable that she is doing this for the better, I guess. Well, it could also just be revenge, right? She could always just be doing this for revenge, but it shows a lot more character for her to, and respect for her to be able to do these things that she doesn't want to do, but because she has a goal in mind, there's something greater for her to look forward to, and I hope she gets there. I think we're gonna see a lot of her in the future. So, interesting tangent there, but all you need to know is that Party Boy and BB have their own little romantic battle of wits going on, their own little Death Note battle going on. So hey, look forward to that. Yep, because it's true. BB does have skin in the game. Justice. It lives through hope, baby. Keep it alive. So yeah, I love that little scene. You have BB the reporter tagging up with the Commissioner Gordon, aka the cool police guy. That's from Batman, I know. And yeah, they've made an alliance, essentially. Like, yo, we need to stop this corruption. And if you have any information that I can use for that, you let me know. I got your back. Beautiful. But as, what's her name? Heather is worried on her professional level, professionality, be damned, Matt begins to go through the zoo. It's closer and closer to Wilson Fisk. He's like, you know what? Let's prove this. Let's settle this once for all. Let's go dance with the kids. Matt and Fisk notice each other, bump into each other, and they have a quick little romantic scene where he's like, they're talking to each other while dancing with their partners. Matt has a fun little interaction where he like folds up his little cane. He's like, you're gonna have to lead. He was like, what? Okay, that's a sentence. And yeah, it gets to the point where you basically it gets to the point where Matt is able to hear at the reaction of certain keywords triggered over the Foggy Nelson case that it wasn't Fisk, obviously, but the person who was in charge of the Fisk enterprise while he was gone meditating in the Himalayas was indeed his wife. So at the end of the day, his wife killed Foggy Nelson. His wife ordered Poindexter to kill Foggy Nelson. And exactly at that point, wouldn't you know it, Poindexter is here at the ball. Did his little Assassin's Creed sneaky sneak, I should mention, while they were basically patching up the nose that Matt broke inadvertently, right? He did things. He did this. Matt broke Poindexter's nose. Poindexter found an opportunity to escape, break free. He took out the guard and the medical guy, and he was able to jump in the prison, in the cop convoy bus to go to the party, and he's there for party time. He brought his suit and everything. So this dude is on the mission. Matt is able to exchange partners. He's scared. He's funny. He bumps into Wilson Fisk and he basically drags Vanessa. And then you look at Fisk's face and he's like, oh, that's my wife. That's a cute little interaction there. I think this cast really has had like enough time with each other that they're able to perfectly work with each other. I think they just do art at this point. And yeah, man. Yep, it's true. So we get an interesting moment where while Matt is dancing with Vanessa, he's like, oh, I know what you did. I know you killed Foggy Nelson. And Vanessa is denying it, but obviously Matt can hear her heartbeat freaking out and shit. So he knows more. while Fisk is slowly implying to Matt's girlfriend, Heather, that maybe this man that you hang out with is hiding more than you know. And wow, basically starts narking out Daredevil. But while this is all happening, while they're enjoying their peaceful romantic dance together, evening with each other, we see Dexter line up the shot, ready to take out Fisk. And I gotta tell you, man, whoever is in charge of like really storyboarding this show, whew, this is like the ultimate parody of not even a parody, but this is like the ultimate comic book representation of all the bullshit that has been happening in these past couple of years. Because as they line up to take a shot of the president, of Wilson Fisk, Matthew Murdock, being the hero that Poindexter knows he was, jumps in and takes the shot. Man. Essentially saving Wilson Fisk's life. Ouch. And remember, Bullseye never misses. And yeah, that's it right there, man. We kind of end the scene there. We have Matt essentially bleeding out on the floor. Heather's trying to like grab him, or like regrets losing him because she's about to lose him, metaphorically and relationship wise. Yeah. And Wilson Fisk, shocked, gets escorted out of the building. Can't write it, folks. It's all history. So, with that, we leave ourselves there, laying on the ground, wondering, asking ourselves the question, why would he do that? Why would Matthew Murdock jump in for Fisk? We'll find out next week, I think. But I believe at the end of the day, if Matt didn't take the shot, and if Fisk was killed in that moment, then it would make Fisk a martyr, i.e. someone who is, because this person died, we have to support their cause now. And it might have actually caused more chaos if they killed him in that moment, more because it was like a public space of celebration or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, man. Shitty things happened on a shitty basis, and you know, nothing is ever guaranteed, especially not life. But hey, that is Daredevil episode 8. This show is starting to wrap up. I think we're getting closer to the season finale. It looks cool. I've been having a good time with this. I've been having fun with these little interactions. And if we do get a second season, I just hope they don't lose the momentum of the writing, because I feel like they had something good happening, and if they're just writing to write now, it'll be different, and maybe we'll like it, and maybe it'll be cool. But I had a fun, good ride with this one. I think this was a good kick to what comic books can be, what heroes should be, and I admire that they did not give a shit on when it came to just having to say what they had to say, and that's pretty damn cool. I respect that very, very much. But if you enjoyed it, if you had fun, and if you thought Fisk was cute in his little white suit, Kingpin, then hey, leave a like, be cool, and I hope to see you guys again. Hasta la próxima. But until then, hasta la próxima. Ciao. Matane. It's those guys.